Making the move from city to countryside is often a momentous step.
Never in a million years I would imagine I would be seeing a house like this. Never, ever.
But for many years, Escape to the Country has been supporting countless people on the hunt for a new home in a more rural location.
What do we think of this?
Oh my, chocolate box.
We've travelled to the most picturesque pockets of Britain.
Take a look at that killer view.
That's amazing.
To showcase thousands of exquisite country properties.
Oh, but how pretty is that?
That our buyers just couldn't resist.
Seriously, get your checkbook out now.
Join us as we catch up with those who bought their dream home.
I think that's it.
Found what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
To find out how the move changed their lives when they escaped to the country. Well, today's escape journey really is on quite a scale, as I'll be visiting house buyers in two far-flung corners of the UK, but my starting point is here in Carmarthenshire, West Wales, with its lush green valleys and golden sandy beaches. This is a part of the country I love, having spent over 20 years of my life living just up the road. Take it from me, for those seeking a genuinely rural escape, it doesn't get much better than this. And I suppose it really is that sense of trying to get away from it all that lies at the heart of the ambitions of many of our buyers hoping to make their move to the country. The British Isles are home to some incredibly wild places and untouched landscapes, which have captivated escapees looking for that true sense of isolation. I'll be covering well over 400 miles today as I pay a visit to house buyers who realised their dreams and relocated to West Wales and to the region of Scotland where Highland meets Lowland. Later, I'll be taking in the magic of the Argyll and Bute countryside, which cast its spell on house buyers Rebecca and Steve.
It's one of our favourite places to come with the dogs. You've got the beauty of the mountains where we're living and the beaches as well.
But first, I'll be reunited with Steve and Di, who bought one of the properties I showed them and are now making the most of the wide open spaces of West Wales.
As soon as I saw it, fell in love with it. I had to have it. It's just right.
Di and Steve's escape journey started back in the summer of 2017 when they were living in the town of Eastleigh in Hampshire. Steve had recently retired from work as an HGV driver, and Di was hoping to follow suit from her work as a catering chef. They knew it was high time to head to pastures new with their cats and their two horses.
One of the main reasons we want to move is they are building more and more properties in this area. It's getting busier and busier. Our horses are about 4 miles away, so to take the horses out would be going through a housing estate, basically.
I'm excited about the move because I can have the ponies at the bottom of the garden and hopefully nice, safe riding.
However, this was a significant move for Steve.
I've lived in Eastleigh all my life. I was actually born in this property. It was my parents' place. Over the years, more and more properties have gone up around here. It used to be a quiet village. It's not the same as what it used to be. Want to get back to the countryside.
Steve and Di were in the favourable position of being cash buyers and were open to house hunting in both Pembrokeshire and Carmarthenshire. Their perfect country property needed to be detached, provide 2 to 3 bedrooms and have a large kitchen diner. They were also looking for an annex to use as a holiday let, a shed for Steve and at least 3 acres of land and preferably stabling for Di's 2 horses. And for all this, the maximum spend was £450,000. Knowing the paddock space was a priority, we kicked off our house hunt in Pembrokeshire on the edge of the village of Camrose, an area popular with horse lovers. The first property, a stone farmhouse dating back some 300 years in parts, got great reactions from the outset. That's the old bit. All right, classic bit of Welsh architecture, really. But as you can see, much improved and much extended to now give you 4 bedrooms
All right.
Four,
Yeah.
and a fabulous master bedroom that's up there
With a balcony.
with a balcony. And there is sense in that because it overlooks that. 7 acres of flat land for you.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Steve was happy with the promise of a man shed too. Inside the old part, they seemed impressed with the character and space. There we go.
Beams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite high as well.
Unusually so, actually, to be honest. You would not perhaps expect a ceiling of this height looking at it from the outside. This reception area is something of an L shape. It goes through there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cosy room.
It's actually, yeah, but it's roomy.
It's roomy.
It's quite a lot of space in here.
It is. Very nice.
Upstairs were the 3 bedrooms they'd asked for, with attractive deep windowsills, along with a really stylish family bathroom. Back down on the extended side, we explored the kitchen. There you go. Nice sort of freestanding look to it. Thinking the ponies are going to be here waiting for breakfast.
They're going to be right up to the door if we don't put a fence up. But yes, very nice kitchen.
Very nice kitchen.
Yes.
Upstairs in this newer wing was the main bedroom, which had its own ensuite. And a balcony, a superb vantage point for taking in the surroundings.
Beautiful.
Out you come, Steve.
Look at the view.
Absolutely lovely.
I mean, it's a great spot to really see what you might do with that 7 acres.
There's loads of space to play with.
They also found the asking price very attractive. This could be yours for £425,000.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. It leaves us money for stables.
£25,000 under budget, this property had definitely made an impression on them.
It's very quirky and it's completely different than what I'm used to. Crown and glory will be the land. It's very nice, flat. All we need to do is build some stable blocks for the horses, and the view, of course, is spectacular.
For our second property, we crossed over into Carmarthenshire to the rural hamlet of Cumbach, where this former working farm had outbuildings galore, which could have furnished them with a future income. The holiday let idea, I think, really surfaces with our second property because of all these buildings.
Yes.
You can see around you.
Very nice.
I love it.
Very nice.
I absolutely love the yard, and the house is absolutely gorgeous from the outside.
And very peaceful again. Can't wait to get inside.
Yeah? It is going to take a little bit of imagination.
It's fine.
Yeah, let's go and have a look. Come on.
Absolutely.
Inside, that farmhouse feel was evident in all the living areas. So as you can see, dining room with window seats,
Oh, yes.
and then fittingly next to the kitchen, which is very different to what we saw in our first property, this one being much more of a kind of galley arrangement, yet still with some lovely features, you know, the stone walls, the slate floor.
And the beams, the light beams.
And of course you've got those views out to the more formal garden that way.
Yeah, it's not a bad width kitchen, is it? Though it's a galley kitchen, there's plenty of room, and I love the range. I have to get my head around how to work it.
And the space in the sitting room also pleased them.
It's quite a large room.
Quite a nice room.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And
I'm not thinking of an evening, you know, settling down.
Absolutely. I think it's quite a nice sized room.
An attractive conservatory provided another place to retreat to. Besides a study, there was also a double bedroom down here, with the other 4 all found upstairs, along with a state-of-the-art family bathroom. Outside, the land amounted to a very substantial 5 acres. This was a completely different proposition to the first, but there was one unifying factor. Interestingly, this is comparable with property number 1. This is £425,000.
Okay.
So I think lots for you to weigh up. Again, £25,000 under budget. This farmhouse presented them with a whole range of fresh projects.
This could be ideal for conversion.
Absolutely. And you could use it as a feature of the floor.
It'd be a bit of a challenge. Never done anything like it before, but prospects are there. We can have a go.
Well, with 2 houses down, it was clear that both Steve and Di were happy with aspects of both, and I think certainly were relieved at just how much land and property their budget could get them. But I think it's fair to say we hadn't quite found the perfect solution just yet, which meant, of course, we had it all to play for with our mystery house, a property which I hoped would deliver not just on their wish list, but also on an emotional level as well. our final stop took us to Llanybother and a beautiful rural spot. Here they seem to connect with our mystery house as soon as they set eyes on it.
Lovely. Very nice.
So, you've saved the best till last.
I think we have saved the best till last. This entire package offers you lots and lots of options because not only have we got this very, very lovely house, we've also got you 8 acres.
Oh, lovely.
Lots of land to explore later on, OK?
It's beautiful. I love it. I love the shape of the house.
What about you, Steve?
I'm happy and the house really does look nice.
Lovely.
Can't wait to see it.
Inside, however, there was one key compromise for Di to make. Little kind of boot room and utility area there.
Yes.
And then this, Di,
Aha.
is the kitchen diner.
Right, very nice.
Yes?
Actually, I do like it. The size is okay. You've got quite a decent sized table in here. Yeah. And you've still got space. Yeah, I love the range.
Yes, you see. The proportions and character in the sitting room had them feeling right at home.
Nice size. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I've just spotted the log burner.
Yes, you've got the log burner there.
I love it. I love this house so far. I've only seen 2 rooms.
Yeah, well. The sleeping arrangements in our mystery house gave them the option to create a 2-bedroom holiday let. And the main bedroom had some delightful features. Look there.
Oh, beautiful. Amazing.
I mean, that puts the fun into an ensuite.
It does.
Yes.
Not just tucked away, you know,
Oh, no.
in a corner. They've made something of it.
It's gorgeous.
And it's all been done.
10 out of 10 so far.
And those high scores went through the roof when they saw the range of outbuildings and 8 acres of land on offer. Are we still at 10?
No, 11.
11? 11, OK, well. Well, here's the thing. I can make your wish come true because this is on the market for £450,000.
Right on budget. You got your book?
I can hit my checkbook now. No problem. Perfect.
It is beautiful.
Absolutely perfect.
Steve, you're a bit choked.
I am really choked. I am.
Take him away, take him away. Give him a moment on his own. Bang on their maximum spend, the mystery property at the time had won their hearts.
You're right.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good, good.
I think that's it.
Found what you're looking for, or what we're looking for. It is beautiful. Views wherever you look.
Absolutely.
So which one did they press ahead with and buy? Let's not forget that Property 1 directly looked out over its 7 acres and came in under their top budget. As did House 2, which gave them plenty of scope to develop a holiday let. Or did they go with their hearts and pay top dollar for the mystery option? Well, the mystery house seemed to have worked its magic, even though it didn't quite offer them the big kitchen diner they were looking for. But I needn't have worried. Both Steve and Di were smitten, so it gives me great pleasure to return to our mystery house, which they are now the proud owners of, to find out how they're settling in to their new home. Are you in? Steve and Di, hey!
Hey, hello, Jules.
How are you, mate?
How are you?
I'm very well. Di, good to see you. Mwah. Well, it's a little chillier than last time I was here.
It is a bit, but we've got the kettle on.
Excellent, good.
Time perfect.
Steve and Di have probably only had enough time to unpack their belongings, so I don't expect they've had the chance or the need to alter an already pristine property.
Come on along and have a cup of tea.
Nice and cosy in
It's
here.
a bit warmer.
It is a bit warmer. Although, hang on, it's missing the range, which I thought would be red hot today.
Yes. We decided we weren't really going to be using it. We were more conventional sort of cooking.
Yeah.
So, yes, it was nice and warm. But, yes.
So what's going to happen? Are you going to put another...
We're going to
cooker in there?
put the range over there and put a couple more cupboards in.
I seem to recall on our house tour, this was the room that most worried me because it wasn't the big kitchen diner that I know you were looking for. But all of my concerns seem to evaporate.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We had your family down, which was So there's 7 of us actually on the table there, so there's plenty of room.
Now, you haven't been here that long, have you?
No.
2.5 months.
2.5 months. I mean, it seems like a ludicrous question to ask you as to what you've done to this place that might, reveal the house that Steve and I are really trying to create. But have you managed to do much?
We've worked mainly outside because the weather's been with us.
Yeah.
We have done some work indoors.
Come on, let's go to that living room and have a peek, shall we?
Feel free.
See, this was very much the heart of it, and clearly still is, although a slightly different layout.
It is, yeah. The TV was that end.
Right.
It's now over there.
We thought it'd be cosy around the fire.
You see, you are getting into the West Walian mindset of hunkering down for the winter, aren't you?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
So,
The fire does knock out quite a bit of heat, so...
Now, this was a massive move for you, particularly, Steve, wasn't it? After, what, 59 years?
59 years in the last place, yeah. Just short by about 6 days.
Yeah, I mean, from everything that you had known before, I mean, I suspect there's quite a lot to discuss, because you really, let's face it, your feet haven't touched the ground over the last few months.
No.
I came on the right day, as Steve's been busy baking.
Well, guys, this is fabulous.
good.
What happened after we'd left you at the end of filming?
We come back on the Friday to have a second viewing. The owners were away on holiday, as you knew. They come back on the Tuesday. We put an offer in on the Wednesday and accepted on Thursday.
So within 7 days of bringing you here, you'd bought it?
Yes.
Yep.
And how many weeks, months did it take you to finally move in?
It was 6 weeks.
6 weeks?
Yeah, from starting from,
We
6 weeks.
had sold ours, though they had nowhere in mind. They actually found a house very quickly, and it happened very quickly.
For you, Steve, I was really concerned about the emotional bridge you were going to have to cross, giving up 60 years of life in Hampshire to come to something completely new. You'd never bought a house before.
No, this is my first house. It's completely different from a town to this. Completely different. The thing I do miss is the neighbours, because we used to have a chat over the garden wall. It's a little bit more isolated, but it's lovely. Loving it. We spend most of the time in the garden,
Yeah.
weather permitting.
I mean, in many respects, it's a house that sold itself to you, really. I mean, the land clearly was a major component in that. And we should not forget that you had initially given us the challenge of finding you somewhere in Pembrokeshire.
Yes.
And yet here we are, a good hour away from there in Carmarthenshire. But it's the house, what did it, Steve?
It is definitely the house, yeah. As soon as I saw it, fell in love with it. Had to have it. It's just right.
I mean, it did all get a bit emotional, didn't it, out there?
It did.
I didn't think we'd find something so quick, if you know what I mean. I was hoping we would, because moving out of our old place, we were going to live in the caravan for didn't know how long.
Yeah.
And as it was, we was only in the caravan for 10 days.
Wow. Now then, killer question. It was on the market for £450,000.
Yeah.
What did you have to spend to get it?
430,000.
Wow. With 8 acres.
With
Yes.
8 acres.
And a house that was perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, value for money, Carmarthenshire has not let you down, has it?
No.
No way.
No way.
And in terms of the land, I mean, 8 acres, it's a fair bit to manage. How are you coping with that?
We've got 20 sheep out there at the moment, keeping the grass down.
Yeah, yeah. Are they your sheep?
No. They're local farmers. He puts them out for grazing for 3 or 4 months a year.
Yeah.
Ideal.
Now, one of the other components in your search, Di, was the thought that you might be able to generate some extra income. Any movement there? Have you got any plans for the future in terms of an income?
It's more, we're going to start with the bed and breakfast. We have got the annex, which...
Of course, yes.
Yes.
Yes, you forget that actually, tucked away, because it's such an integral part of the house, but actually you can sort of siphon that off, can't you?
You can make it very private. So we're going to get that up and running.
We just put it onto social media for friends to come along. And that's as far as we got so far.
Yes.
I mean, you say as far as you've been here, what, 2.5 months?
2.5 months, yeah.
I get the feeling, There's no dust on you two, is there? I mean, you really have hit the ground running with this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Steve and Di have ploughed their efforts into maintaining the land as they have plans to increase the menagerie. They've already rehomed 6 ex-battery hens which are producing enough eggs for Steve's weekly cake baking and to sell on to locals. Keeping pigs is also firmly on the agenda, but I'm keen to meet the ponies, having heard so much about them.
They look as if they've settled in well enough.
They seem to be very well settled. They're thoroughly enjoying themselves. Come on then.
But it seems they need a bit of time to get to know me.
Come and say hello then. Come on then. Normally I've got a great touch with horses, but, you know, not today. So any plans for any more?
No, definitely not.
No, really? I thought you'd fill this with dozens more. But, you know, you've got the sheep that are grazing in here too, haven't you?
Yes, we have. They're just in the other paddock.
And, of course, the chickens.
Yes.
Now, let's talk a bit more about pigs, shall we? What are your plans for your pigs?
Oh, the pigs are actually going to go just down the back there.
OK.
We haven't built the pigsty yet, but it's all there ready to do.
And how many are you thinking of having?
Just a couple. Just to turn the ground over.
And, you know, are they going to become, you know, chops and bacon and sausages?
Hopefully.
Yeah, possibly. Sausages.
So there's a bit of the good life about all this, isn't there?
There is, yes.
To give them an insight into what pig keeping would involve, I'm taking them to meet husband and wife pig farming team Emma and Neil Rose, who live in nearby Blynie Coed. They started realising their own ambitions of leading the good life in 2006 and now look after around 100 pigs, producing their own sausages and bacon, which they sell to local markets and restaurants.
You've made a real lifestyle choice, haven't you?
Yep.
In terms of pigs. I mean, they are part and parcel of really who you are and what you're doing here, because this is your own escape to the country, isn't it, really?
Yep. We actually today, 11 years ago, we actually put an offer in on a small holding. We started with 15 acres. We're now up to 75 acres. And then them 11 years have just gone like that. So
I can imagine.
You just got to go for it and live it, you know.
But weren't you an engineer, an aero engineer?
Yeah, I used to be aircraft engineer at Heathrow Airport, and off September 11th, it all changed. And then I went to night school. I did night school in farming, and that was it.
I'm always very admiring of people who can literally chuck it all in and pursue an absolute dream and an ambition. Because you were a city girl, weren't you?
Yeah, city girl, vegetarian.
Seriously? It gets better and better, this tale, doesn't it?
But no, I'll eat our own meat. I'm still funny on eating other people's meat because I know how they've been kept. So it's very strange. I'm a converted vegetarian the wrong way, probably.
Brilliant. Now, have you thought about what breed? Because I'm keen to know why you've picked Gloucester Old Spots.
We did loads of research when we first moved down because we had no experience of pigs. And then 3 real reasons. One, they're a rare breed.
Yep.
And we like to support the rare breeds. They've got floppy ears as well, so that's really good. So when you're running around the field, anything with floppy ears, they're more docile and they're really good mums.
Okay.
And then the main thing is they're dual purpose, so you can get your pork and your bacon from them.
Yeah.
But there is obviously a fair bit of work involved, you know, even in having, you know, 2 or 3. You know, what are the sort of pitfalls that Steve and Di should look out for?
Probably the mud. With the pigs, you're going to get a lot of mud.
Yep.
They do love their straw, but the way we work with our animals, you want to wake up in the morning, it could be awful weather in Wales, but you want to see your animals.
Yeah.
So you've got to enjoy the animals that you're feeding. So that's the main criteria when you're picking an animal, is every morning, every evening, you want to go and say hello to them.
So what do you need to keep a pig? What sort of licensing and...
The only licence you need is an animal health licence. You get an ear tag, you get a holding number. Once you know you breed, there's 2 choices. You can either go down a cross or a pure breed. It's just down to you. Literally, just do your research and pick the pig that you want to breed with.
I mean, it's fabulous being surrounded by them.
Absolutely.
You know, particularly when they're so happily distracted. I mean, how old are these young piglets now?
So they're varying in age. So you've got little ones here that are 8 weeks of age up to anything between 12 weeks. But they grow really quick. Really,
12
really
weeks?
Quick, yeah.
So basically they were born when you moved?
Yeah.
So actually you've got something in common here in terms of your lives in West Wales, haven't you?
I'm full of admiration. How in a matter of weeks, Di and Steve have thrown themselves with such gusto into a truly rural life. Latest news is they're now the proud owners of 2 rare breed large whites, who are now also enjoying this beautiful corner of Wales.
Well, when our next couple asked for our help in finding them a home on Scotland's west coast, they made it perfectly clear they wanted to be off the beaten track. So with house tour duties this time falling to Johnny Irwin, they travelled here to stunning Argyll and Bute back in the spring of 2015, with high hopes of finding a home with sea views.
Back then, Steve and Rebecca were living in the market town of Brigg in Lincolnshire. Rebecca was working as a chartered accountant and Steve was running a renewable energy business. So no surprise they were living in an eco-house they developed themselves. However, their desire for nature and having wide open space on their doorstep was driving their move to Argyll and Bute.
The choice of Scotland is just the beautiful scenery, the quietness, and just views and enjoying the walks, really. The aim is to be somewhere where we can just physically open the front door and be out there, straight onto a beach or straight into the woods.
Steve was ready to move immediately and happy to be as remote as possible, whereas Rebecca was a little more cautious.
I'm ready for isolation, and if we didn't see anyone for a couple of days, that really wouldn't faze me at all.
It sounds ideal, being isolated and out of the way, but the practicalities of it and getting shopping and we'll have to see where we end up.
Yeah.
What they both agreed on was that the setting and views were a key priority and that the house played second fiddle as they didn't mind a project. However, it did need to give them 3 bedrooms and be open plan. For their escape, they had a budget of £350,000. The first property Johnny took them to lay close to the banks of Loch Eck, 10 miles from the amenities of Dunoon. With glorious views towards Benvor, the house was pretty remote.
Fantastic looking property.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very modern.
This large part was built initially around 1849 to 1850.
Oh, wow, right.
With a slightly more modern extension. Now, positioning. I mean, it's just like Lincolnshire, isn't it?
Wow, yes, beautiful location.
Yeah.
Yes.
Without a doubt, fabulous.
Behind the thick stone walls, inside was a timber frame with hefty insulation. It used oil-fired heating, but Steve could easily have installed an eco-friendly biomass boiler. The space inside really seemed to fit the bill.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Very sharp.
The size, the height of the ceilings, the openness, beautiful.
Now, coming round to the kitchen area, is this your taste?
Yes.
Very much
like
our
it very
layout,
much,
isn't it?
Yes, wouldn't need to change it at all.
No.
Yeah, like it very much.
But this is the hub of the home, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the light flooding through the windows.
They warmed to the living room too.
This is the main part of the barn. It's lovely, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?
Perfect little layout, isn't it?
Yeah, got the log burner. Yeah, I don't think we can get better than this. This is fantastic for us. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
All right, well, so far, so good.
Upstairs gave them the 3 bedrooms they'd asked for. The main one benefited from a stylish ensuite, along with another bonus.
Imagine lying in that bed.
Looking at those views.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Johnny then took them out to the garden, which was set against the stunning backdrop of the surrounding hills, where it was time to talk money.
I'm going to go 300.
£300,000.
Yeah.
I'm going to go slightly over. I shall go for 315,000.
Well done. This house is on the market for offers around £315,000.
That's good.
Outstanding.
Johnny had certainly presented them with a house worthy of serious consideration.
In the checklist of all the important things we wanted, the water view was up there at number 1. But the views from this property into the mountains and the woodlands is absolutely superb, and it maybe could be a compromise that we could make.
The slight downside for me would be the sloping ceilings in the bathrooms. Being quite a tall guy, shaving and showering could be a little bit of a challenge without bopping my head. But this property was certainly far better than I'd hoped.
Johnny pressed on to Ardlamont Point at the end of the Cowell Peninsula on a mission to deliver Rebecca the sea view she'd asked for. It's fair to say that Property 2's outlook towards the Isle of Arran took their breath away.
The reason we're here is this.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to keep this a surprise.
That's special, isn't it? Very special.
Oh dear,
And it would have to be today, wouldn't it?
What have you done? We haven't even seen the house yet.
Who cares about the house?
Well, exactly.
I actually don't want to go in
That's
the house. I know we're quite remote here.
Right up my street.
This stone property gave them the option of a project.
First reception room. There's stuff to be done to this place, Steve.
Yes.
But bearing in mind, I mean, you're mad keen on eco-friendly and sustainability. This is a place where you could put your own stamp on that.
Very much so.
Would you like to?
I'd like to see how it flows all
Yes.
together, all the rooms first, because probably we'd knock walls down and...
Remodel.
As the tour progressed, Johnny was hearing different noises from each of them.
It needs a new kitchen. It's doable, isn't it? There's nothing in here that frightens us.
Well, I've not heard Rebecca say anything for a while.
No. Well,
It's not to our taste, let's
like
be
it,
quite frank,
no.
but, you know, there's nothing here that's not doable.
Upstairs gave them their 3 bedrooms, albeit with sloping ceilings. The house wasn't open plan in its existing state, but outside the land extended to a generous 2.5 acres. The location was priceless and left them the money to redevelop it.
This place is on the market for offers in the region of £290,000.
Okay.
Oh, it's put us in a conundrum, hasn't it?
£60,000 under budget, this property had prompted both doubt and delight in Rebecca and Steve.
Well, with such an emotional response to that amazing view, and with our first open plan property clearly still a contender, it was obvious that Johnny's first 2 offerings were doing the trick. But, well, he still had the mystery house to come.
It lay in the coastal hamlet of Kilmun on the edge of Holyloch, a natural inlet along the Firth of Clyde. Johnny started with some good news regarding plans to maximise the view.
You can see behind us, beautiful Holyloch, right? Within the month, they are going to get someone to fell those trees.
Oh, wow.
You will have amazing views with all these conifers gone.
Good spot. Very good spot.
The late Victorian property he showed them provided plenty of rooms, but in places challenged them to adapt it to suit their tastes.
Yeah, it's nice size.
For me, it's a bit too busy, and we do like open space. That's my first reaction, but it's been done well.
The floors are good for the dogs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, that's very dog-friendly.
Johnny then revealed the living room, which clearly inspired them.
This is nice. This is more.
This has been done very well.
The light coming through.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
phenomenal.
really nice.
Yeah, this is a homemaker, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rebecca and Steve made positive noises about remodelling the interior of our mystery property.
Give that a knock.
That's a start.
There you go.
Yep.
Upstairs provided 4 bedrooms, but Johnny was hearing doubts start to creep in.
My initial impression is that it's perhaps too big for what we want. It's kind of wasted on us, really.
Or need.
Yeah, it's fantastic property.
The secluded garden was bordered by woodland and gave them a great outdoors area for their dogs. But the mystery proposition was top of the budget.
The owner is asking for offers in excess of £345,000.
Good value.
That's good value.
Well, they are expecting to get above that 345.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Be it 350 or 370 odd, you'll never know until you get into the negotiation process.
Creeping in under budget, the mystery house challenged them to revise how they could open up a raft of rooms to create their ideal living space. So which of the properties Johnny showed them did they press ahead with and buy? Property 1 was a ready-made open plan option in a great setting, although it lacked Rebecca's sea views. However, that was a major selling point of the second house, which they wanted to remodel if they took it on. Then, of course, the mystery proposition provided plenty of space, but perhaps too much for just the two of them.
Well, Johnny's time with Steve and Rebecca clearly put two very feasible contenders on the table. And I'm now delighted to reveal that in the end, after much deliberation, they bought this one, house number 1. I can't wait to meet them and find out how life in Scotland is treating them.
It doesn't look like much has changed, but then the property didn't need any immediate work doing on it when they moved in.
Who's that? Ah,
Hello,
it's
Rebecca.
Jules. Hi, Jules.
Very nice to meet you.
Meet you.
Steve,
Hi, nice to
obviously,
meet you.
nice to see you. And who are these two?
That's Bella and Barney.
Come on, in you come.
Come on.
Well done. Wow, what a spot.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Well, Johnny did well, didn't he?
Certainly did.
This is absolutely superb, and in such a beautiful setting, right next to the loch.
Yeah.
But you were looking for something a bit more coastal, weren't you?
Yeah, so at my top of my wish list was a water view from the house, and we haven't got it.
Well, I mean, you know, how far's the loch?
It's not far.
It's not far, is it? But you've also gained with those amazing views outside, haven't
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
And that's what sold it to us. The views are out there and the walks up the mountain for the dogs, because our life is the dogs.
Dogs aside, I can see why Rebecca and Steve fell for the practical, well-designed flow of these main living areas.
Oh, this is gorgeous, isn't it? What a perfect welcome.
But I'm keen to hear if buying the property was an easy process.
What was it on the market for originally?
315.
315, yeah.
£315,000. What was your first offer, can I ask?
285.
285. So respectable,
Yeah.
but they were holding out for a bit more.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what did you get it for in the end?
295.
295?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, even compared to Lincolnshire, where you came from, which, let's face it, does offer pretty good value for money, 295 for what you've got here is fantastic value.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, that was a critical component. And I think the other thing for me was the fact that it's a timber frame inside a barn. So it's actually quite modern construction, despite the appearance of it.
So it has all those important eco-credentials.
Yes.
Yeah. But in terms of the way life is now panning out, because I know, you were still working when Johnny met you.
Yeah.
How are you managing to kind of balance, life in Lincolnshire to life here? Because you've still got a foothold there, haven't you?
Yes, well, we started coming up here 1 week in every month and just loved it. And so I retired last week.
Way! Fabulous. Seriously, just last week?
Yeah, I'd planned to do it in 6 months' time, but because we just love coming
Actually,
up.
I've just noticed the balloons above your head. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, it was a party last week, so yes, very fitting that you came up.
So does that mean that now life is going to shift up here fully?
Yeah, I think we're going to be up here for about 50% of our time at this stage. But we've got some building works we need to do here and want to do, and it would make sense to get those done first, rather than moving to a building site.
And it would seem they have some ambitious ideas.
We're going to have CCTV cameras outside looking at wildlife. We've got phenomenal wildlife here, which Rebecca loves. So while she's sunbathing on the deck, she can watch the wildlife at her leisure. Really, we are lucky. We are, inverted commas, we're about to start living the dream, really, without a doubt.
They also want to replace the dormer window upstairs with French doors that lead out onto a huge balcony. The most visual transformation, though, will be an entire wall of bifold doors, which will maximise the amount of light coming into the property.
Well, it will make best use of all of that, because that, let's face it, is stunning.
That's why it's,
we sell houses with views, all the time, but that one does take a bit of beating, let's be honest.
Yes.
Nice idea.
Yeah.
I can see why it's taken you a couple of years to kind of get into this and work it all out.
You have to live in a place, don't you, to start with?
You absolutely do.
Yeah,
it's the best advice you can give anybody, is live with it and then work it out.
Yeah.
Well, look, it's a gorgeous day. I haven't got long in Scotland, so I quite fancy a bit of a walk. Should we take the dogs out?
Oh, they'd love it.
Yeah,
sounds like a plan.
Come and show me one of your favourite spots.
Okay.
Come on then. Come on, dogs.
Rebecca and Steve regularly head to the shores of Loch Long to Carmarthenshire Beach. It's the longest sandy stretch on the Cowal Peninsula.
does seem to be the case that you are genuinely finding the time to make the best of this move and getting out and about and really immersing yourselves in the local area and the community.
Yep. Yeah, the aim is to play a lot of golf while we're up here. There's several golf courses. Some are a lot hillier than others. We're building up to the hillier ones.
Who's the better golfer then?
I used to be.
I plead the fifth?
And Steve's catching me up now. So the vouchers for golf clubs that work have bought me as my retirement present are going to go a long way to try and get me back online with him again.
They're clearly making the most of their leisure time in a part of the country they hadn't even visited just a few years ago.
So when you came up with Johnny,
Yeah.
was it as much a fact-finding expedition as a property-finding expedition?
I think it was, to be honest.
Totally. Yeah.
We'd only really known west of Scotland through research, hadn't we?
Yeah,
and television programmes.
We'd been to Aviemore. That was about the only main place we visited regularly and wanted to try the west, and we used the show really to do the research for us and show us around.
You know, that's what we're here for, and that's the joy of it. But you've absolutely made the best of it, you know.
Yeah.
There we are, Bunny.
This beautiful landscape has also drawn other people in their community to make the move here. They're taking me to the village of Blairmore for a warming cuppa in the Gallery Cafe. It's been owned for the past couple of years by Kirsten Taylor, whose family ties drew her here.
My father was from Dunoon, so I knew the area already, and I knew this gallery before I bought it. So I had just been waiting for the right opportunity, really.
So did you ever envisage coming back? Was it a long-term plan?
Well, I was actually born and raised down south in London, but I've been coming here all my life on holiday and just always wanted to live here. This felt more home to me than anywhere else, and it just made sense to come.
Well, what a place to call your place of work. It's fabulous, isn't it? I mean, you get to look at that all day long.
Absolutely, yeah. I used to be in an office in London, and my window seat had a view of a brick wall. So this is a slightly different view, which I absolutely love every day.
Well, the view out here on Blairmore Pier certainly takes some beating. And what a lovely insight into the life that Rebecca and Steve are building for themselves here in Argyll and Bute.
Well, as the sun sets over the glorious backdrop of Loch Long behind me, it seems like the perfect place to finish today's Odyssey. And seeing how today's couples have made a real go of their new lives in Wales and Scotland has been a real treat. Now, of course, each have decided to live in some pretty remote locations, very different lifestyles to anything they've known in the past. But I think there's no doubt they've embraced their future, and it's been an absolute joy to see. I'll see you next time.
If you also dream of escaping to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and would like our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/beonashow.